I'm scrolling through all the pictures. I can admit that you looked happier with me in my memory. Don't wanna bash other bitches, but I can't deny that she ain't got shit on me. So tell me where you going so fast. You played along so fast, giving her something I was begging you to give me. Is it a life worth living if it's without me? Is it a lie worth telling if it's about me? 'Cause you know that you're in love with me, but still you say you love somebody else. Put my loving on the shelf, baby, let's just be real. You wanna be with me now? Tell me how it feels to be loving on a rebound. Baby, let's just be real. You wanna be with me now? Tell me how it feels to be loving on a rebound. You left me wanting more than you were given. I could not stop and ignore the way that you were living. You said you wasn't ready to settle down, so I let you fly. So I went on looking at you now. You're somebody else's guy. Tell me, was it something that I said to you? Or was I just too good for you? Or was I just too? So tell me what I did to you. Don't you know that I would live for you? And it's hard for me to hide from you, 'cause you know that I would die for you. Tell me if it's something that I did, 'cause I know damn well she ain't got shit on me. No. So tell me if it's something that I was missing. When you were down, I'm down to listen. Baby, I was committed.
Salute and welcome to Blended Healing. You're going through the healing process. You exited stage left. Now what, right? But now it's time for you to put yourself back up there and start rebuilding your circle, this time from alignment, where you can return to the real ones and not anything superficial. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about it. You've done all of the heavy lifting. You cut ties, you burned contracts, you reclaimed your power, and you learned how to walk away. And now it's time to learn how to let in. And let's be very clear. This ain't about being lonely. This is about being surrounded by people who know how to hold space, not drain it. This is about building a circle where you don't have to shrink to belong, where you don't have to bleed to feel valued, where the rest is respected, your boundaries are honored, and your growth is seen. And this new season, only the real ones are allowed. You can't keep inviting in higher level connections while still holding space for low frequency familiarity. Yes, they knew the old you. Yes, y'all got history. And yes, it's comfortable, but comfort can kill your momentum if it's rooted in trauma bonds and outdated roles. You can't build your future surrounded by people who only recognize your past. This time around, the circle gets handpicked. The access gets filtered. The vibe gets discerned. If you're not aligned, they can't sit at your table, period. So, how do you spot a real one in this season of your life? Real ones would respect your boundaries without needing a whole TED talk. You know what I mean? You remember TED Talks? Real ones would match your energy without scoreboard keeping. Tell you the truth with love, not shade. Real ones would celebrate your growth without trying to compete with it. Don't require performance. They just want your presence. And real ones pray for you in silence and show up without being asked. You feel safe around them. Your nervous system relaxes and your light isn't too bright. Your silence isn't uncomfortable. They see you. And not just what you can do for them. That's how you know. Rebuilding isn't about quantity, it's about depth. You don't need a crowd. You don't need a strong circle. The season is all about depth over hype. It's about soul over social. It's about energy over titles. It's definitely about spirit over status. Let go of the need to be surrounded. Instead, ask, does this connection pour back into me? It's not enough for someone to like you. Can they hold you when you're not posting wins? Can they sit in your silence without trying to fix it? Can they honor your boundaries without making it about them? And if the answer is no, that's not your circle. That's just noise. Shh, when the TV used to go out. You see, you got to be the real one if you want to be around. Before you go rebuilding your circles, check yourself. Are you holding space without judgment? Are you showing up without manipulation or expectation? Are you celebrating your people in public and in private? Are you honoring the same peace that you demand? This isn't about waiting on perfect people. This is about the reflection of the community that you want to attract. Your vibe won't lie. The right ones will feel you. The real ones will find you because they're already walking the same path. And don't let loneliness make you settle for access that costs your peace. There's going to be a quiet season. A stretch of solitude where it feels like nobody gets it, where you second guess the exits that you made, where your phone goes dry and your DMs ain't buzzing. But don't you fold. Don't you run back just to feel full. Because that's not fullness. That's noise. You're not lonely. You're being protected. Spirit is making room. You let go of the leeches and then make room for the lifelines. You drop the crowd. Now let the tribe find you. But first, become that tribe to yourself. You see, this next season, it's curated, it's clean, it's covered in clarity and spirit. You just don't want people around you. You want presence. People who remind you of your power when you forget. People who love you with accountability. People who don't compete with your growth. They water it. This circle, it mirrors your healing. It honors your becoming. It moves with you, not against you. And the best part, you finally know you're worthy of it. Finally know that you're worthy of it. Here's another thing. Living as your highest self in a world that wants the old you. Yeah. Here's the thing. Nobody talks about it. Becoming your highest self is not always celebrated. In fact, it can be lonely, awkward, and even painful, because the moment you start walking in that new frequency, living in truth, choosing peace, moving from spirit, that's when people start acting funny. That's when your old friends say you switched up. That's when your family can't figure you out. That's when the invites stop coming and the conversations dry up, and then you realize they loved you more when you were tired, smaller, more available, and more broken. And now you're not easy to manipulate. Now your peace is non-negotiable. Now your boundaries are firm and your spirit is loud and your silence is sacred. And for some, that's going to be too much. But for you, that's alignment. You see, the world doesn't want your highest self. It wants your familiar self. They want the version of you who always said yes. The one who didn't call out the shade, the one who over-explained everything and dimmed her light or his light so others can feel tall. But that version of you, they retired. The new you walks in purpose without asking permission, speaks truth without trying to be all bendable, flexible. The new you loves deep, but not beg for scraps. Sets boundaries without writing essays to explain them. The new you protects your energy like it's holy ground, because it is. And this new you is too bold for shallow rooms, too whole for trauma-bonded connections, too honest for people who need to play small to stay comfortable. And that's okay. Your higher self is not a persona. It's your truth unmasked. So let's be real clear. This ain't a costume you put on. Your higher self ain't about pretending to be positive, spiritual, or perfect. It's about alignment, integration, and it's about finally living in a way that matches your inner knowing. Your highest self. Don't chase, you attract. Don't perform, you command. Don't tolerate, you discern. Don't beg, you bless. You don't have to force your presence where there's no reverence. So if people fall back, let them. If rooms start shifting, exit them. If mirrors start cracking, let them break. Because the real ones, they're going to rise to meet you. The rest, that was never your tribe anyway. But don't get it twisted, because the triggers are going to come. But you built different now. You still going to be tested. The phone is going to ring with old chaos. The X may resurface when Mercury moonwalks. Retrograde. The job will demand too much again. And that guilt is going to sneak in on quiet nights. But this time, you're going to pause. You're going to listen. You're going to feel it all out and still choose peace. Not because it's easy, but because you've tasted what alignment feels like and you refuse to go back to starving. You're not too much. You're just no longer for everybody. Okay, let me say that for you one more time, because I need you to get that. You're not too much. You're just no longer for everybody. You're not loud. You're just no longer whispering your power. You're not too sensitive. You're just no longer numb to the disrespect. You're not too distant. You're just finally present with yourself. And the people who truly see you, they won't ask you to go back to the version of you that nearly killed your spirit just to keep the room comfortable. You're not here to be digestible. You're here to be divine. This is what walking in purpose feels like. You're not who you used to be. And that's the whole point. You don't need to prove it. You don't need to defend it. You don't need to carry the weight of who you were just to make others feel safe. Your higher self is your truest self. And you walk different. Head up, boundaries intact, rooted in truth, covered by spirit, focus on alignment, not attention, anchored in peace and not performance. This is your elevation, and no one can unsee it now, especially not you. You feel me? I'm not done yet. You have to make a commitment and an oath to stay aligned and never shrink again. There's going to be moments when you feel the old version tugging at you, moments when the silence feels loud, when the urge to backtrack is going to creep in, and when the old habits, old connections, old comfort zones knock like they still have a key. And in that moment, you're going to feel that test, not from them, but from yourself. Will you shrink again just to feel safe? Will you fold again just to be liked? Will you bend again just to belong? Or will you stand on everything spirit rebuilt inside of you? You see, the real work starts after the glow. Growth gets a lot of love online. Healing looks good in a post. Boundaries sound strong in a caption. But the real work, it happens after the glow. When nobody's clapping, when you're tested in the quiet, when the next decision doesn't come with an audience, just you, spirit, and the truth. And this oath is about those moments, the ones nobody sees, the choices that define your frequency long after the fire dies down. You already survived the breaking. Now it's time to master the keeping. Keeping your peace, keeping your truth, keeping your power. When you shrink, you send a message to the universe that says, Almighty universe, I don't trust who I'm becoming. And they say, for real? Let's give you some more bullshit. Because that's what happens when you want to stay and do things like that. You betray the very prayers that you cried for. You dim the light you fought so hard to reclaim. You silence the voice you finally found. Shrink it ain't small. It's spiritual self-abandonment. It's disrespect to your healing. It's a betrayal to your higher self. After everything that you walked through, you don't get to go back. Not to prove, not to please, not to survive. Let me get a little closer. Let me tell you this. Standing in alignment now means saying no when everything in your trauma says you should say yes. Choosing rest even when your old self says you haven't done enough. Keeping your peace even when the old drama knocks on your inbox, in your text message, on a voicemail. Watching folks fall away and letting them without chasing, explaining, or reshaping yourself to get them back. Standing in alignment is speaking with clarity and love without backpedaling or softening your truth for comfort. You don't owe watered down versions of yourself to people who don't handle your full truth. You owe yourself loyalty. You owe spirit commitment. You owe your inner child a life that they couldn't imagine, but you're living now. So let's make this real plain. Repeat after me and speak this loud. And if you have to, write it on your mirror. Pray it into your journal. Burn it into your bones. This is your oath to you. I vow to no longer shrink to survive. I release the roles that required my silence. I let go of the people who needed me powerless. I honor the boundaries that protect my spirit. I walk in truth, even it costs me comfort. I protect my peace like sacred fire. I trust the version of me that spirit molded in the dark. I owe no one my exhaustion. I owe everyone my integrity, starting with myself. I don't go back. I don't fold. I don't explain what spirit already confirmed. I stay aligned. I stay whole. And I rise as me. You are the evidence, baby. Look in the mirror. You are the proof of your own becoming. You are the evidence of divine recovery. You are the answer to the prayer you almost gave up on. This wasn't just healing. It was remembering. This wasn't just growth. It was a reclamation. This wasn't just a journey. It was a return. And now that you're here, you never have to shrink again. You got it? All right. That's it. I'm done. So be well. Stay safe. Ashe and deep bow to each and every one of you. All right. Everything's going to be all right. I'm going to tell you that. Everything's going to be cool. You're going to be cool. Remember, rebuilding your circle from alignment. Keeping an oath to yourself. Remembering that you did all of this work. So don't go back. Ashe. All right, I'm really done now. Stay tuned for some announcements. I sound like I'm in the church house. Some announcements. And I'll see y'all real soon in these streets, all right? Be safe out there. I'll talk to you soon. The sacred process in your spirit code. For those who are tired but still holding on, this isn't another fluffy love and light message. This is for the soul who's done the shadow work, sat with grief, laid on the floor and whispered, "Spirit, what now?" You've poured your heart into healing. You've chosen growth when numbness would have been easier. You've lost, shifted, and shed and shown up again. And yet, the blessings still feel far. The clarity still feels quiet. The path still feels foggy. But here's what Spirit needs you to remember. You're not off track. You're in the womb. You're not behind. You're deep in recalibration. You're not broken. You're birthing a deeper version of you. The process doesn't always come with confirmations. Sometimes it's just silence and sacred sweat. But the coding is still there. The promise is still intact. And Spirit is still watching, still aligning, still whispering. Trust me. I'm building you while you wait. You have to trust the process. You see, Spirit sees the whole map while we're out here just holding one puzzle piece at a time. Trusting the process of Spirit means surrendering control, not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. It's understanding that what feels like delay, rejection, or confusion in the moment is often divine redirection, alignment, or protection. Spirit ain't operating on ego, timelines. It's playing the long game for your soul. In this booklet, you will find words of encouragement and purpose. You will be finding rituals for awakening the code that's within you, spiritual bath so you can trust the process, and a quick daily code activation which takes about 5 minutes. So you can find this and all other works in our Etsy shop at Shamaka Essential.